It is time for today's Big Stat presented by Walgreens. For the first time in 14 years and the first time ever in Big Ten competition, the Nebraska men have claimed back-to-back outdoor track and field conference championships, and the Huskers have it going on the women's side as well, posting the program's best Big Ten outdoor championship finish since 2015. And with that, welcoming the head coach of the Husker track and field program, Justin St.Clair. Second year in a row, we've got to have this conversation, which is a great thing, Justin. I know it's a thing that you'd love to see on an annual basis. You were also recently named the Big Ten track and field coach of the year. So welcome into the show. And of course, first and foremost, our congratulations.
Thank you very much. And thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
How did this year's championship compare to last year's? Having won it last year, obviously you're just the interim. Now you're a permanent head coach, and shortly thereafter, a couple of Big Ten championships in a row.
You know, last year obviously was memorable and exciting to kind of step in and do that and win the championship. And then you kind of go into the second year, and the goal is to repeat that. And I would say there's a lot of thought and expectation that I put on myself and the team and the staff to back that up. And so I would say the first year was really exciting. This year was stressful, but also very exciting at the same time. So we're so excited and just privileged to have a great group of student athletes and staff that just work hard and kind of working hard together and trying to accomplish the same goal. So it was fun. Yeah.
Well, let's get into some of those student athletes. And we start with Tyus Wilson, wins the high jump with an NCAA best, third all time at 7'6". What makes Tyus so good at his discipline?
You know, Tyus is obviously great job. He competed really well. Tyus is somebody he's very committed to the process of training. He has a very good belief and a really good balance in life in general. So I think being able to compete at a high level and the beliefs that he has in his faith and everything has been just a really blessing for him. And man, he's a great competitor, and he trains hard, and he just does a really, great job.
Darius Luff takes home the 100-meter hurdles, and his time of 13.25, not just good enough for his third title, but it's actually number 6 in the world right now. So how has Darius become one of the world's best?
Him and Coach Emmanuel, they've really developed a great bond and relationship. And, Darius ran 13.25 at the Drake relays earlier this year. So the level of consistency for him has really really shown now. And I think he just truly believes, hey, I know I can do this. And it's less about the pressure of running fast. It's more about, hey, let's put on a show and just execute my race and stay in his own lane, not worry about who's doing what, just do what Darius does. And, great things happen. He's a very relaxed runner and very confident with his abilities. So he's really being consistent and is just in a good space.
Yeah, he really makes an event look very easy that, as you and anyone else who's ever tried it probably knows, it is anything but easy. Let's go to the triple jump. You have 3 of the top 6 finishers in that event. How did Terrell Wilson, McKylan Moore, and Jeremiah Charles push each other?
I would say such a good brotherhood that they have and competitive spirit within each other. And I would say when you are competing with each other and for each other, it just sharpens each other. And it becomes a little bit of, a bragging right. Well, hey, you just did this, and okay, well, now it's my turn. I'm going to kind of go ahead and try to pass that up. And they're very competitive, but they are there for each other, and they support each other, encourage each other. So it just kind of the chemistry of them competing against each other, but with each other, has been just really fun to watch.
Justin, what else stood out from the weekend? A men's team finish that was not just a championship, but you outpointed second-place Iowa by 50 points. I know it was still a battle going into the final day, but such an impressive performance. Big picture perspective, what else stood out to you from the weekend?
I would say the weekend itself, all the teams did a great job across the board. Anytime you're going to the Big Ten championships, there's a lot of pressure and expectation, whether if it's our team or any team. And it's a battle. And I would say all the teams competed really well. For me, watching, like specifically watching our team and watching how we have come together as a team, track and field, obviously, each event is individual results, but those individual results really impact the entire team. And each cheer, each yell, each encouragement, if you had a bad meet or a great meet, be there for each other, pick each other up. And just watching our team kind of be there for each other has really kind of been exciting to watch and makes me realize, hey, we are doing this together for each other. And that's not just the student athletes, but the staff, the medical side of things, the strength and conditioning. All of us are kind of bought into doing the best we can for the program.
Well, you mentioned that a little bit at the beginning about how the expectations changed for you after the championship a year ago. I'm curious how the expectations overall changed for this program, because recent years there really hadn't been a ton of success, especially at the outdoors, but now back-to-back for the men, a top two for the women outside of Lincoln even. How do you feel like the expectations, what is expected of your program, have changed?
I would say from my standpoint, if we're going to compete, let's compete at the highest level and let's put everything we have into doing what we can do. And so now to me, I would say winning never really gets old. So let's go ahead and have the expectation and the standard to say, hey, if we're going to compete, let's compete for titles. And that might not always happen, but at least we're going to have the mindset and a desire and passion to compete at the highest level. And the chips are going to fall where they fall. And again, we can't say, hey, we're going to win every title. No, that's not true. But we're going to at least compete at the level and have that mindset to compete at that level.
And titles, Justin, came on the women's side as well. Axelina Johansson wins her third straight championship meet in the shot. She threw over 60. Now, she's actually thrown 64 in her career. What's most impressive about her skill set?
Axelina's a really good competitor, and we have been really kind of getting ready for, this part of the season. A lot of it has been training, and sometimes it's really easy to kind of get after the big marks early in the season. Thinking about Axelina, it's going to be a rather, hopefully a long season for her. With now we have the regional meet and the national meet, and then hopefully we'll be in Paris here in August for the Olympics. So right now it's really been about just training, and now we're getting into the spot of, okay, now it's time to really start peaking for competition and get ready. And just a great young lady who trains hard and works hard and is committed to being the best she can be.
All right, Justin, let's finish there. You mentioned the regionals, Fayetteville, large portion of your team. Almost everybody we just mentioned goes to regionals. What is the balance like between trying to peak for the Big Tens, but then rest and then peak again for regionals? And in the case of some of these athletes, rest and then peak again for what they hope is a shot at the Olympics.
That's right. Yeah, it's such a juggling act, right? There's no crystal ball on, hey, we might draw it up just like this, but sometimes, things happen. You might get sick or, injuries, or you never know what that really happens in between. But we have the athletes have trained very consistently. They have competed very consistently. And now it's kind of, hey, the work has really been done. Now it's about making sure you feel really good leading into these meets. And each coach has, they know their athletes really well. They know physically where they are, mentally where they are. And now it's kind of the saying is, the cake's baked, it's time to eat it. So let's just make sure that we continue to stay injury-free and try to stay as healthy as we can to give us the best chance to do what we can do.
Cake always tastes a little bit better after a championship. Justin St.Clair and the Huskers, men's outdoor champions, women finishing second. Justin, congrats again on the Big Ten Coach of the Year honor. Wish you and the Huskers who go to Fayetteville the best of luck. We hope to see you and a bunch of those Nebraska athletes this summer at the Olympics in Paris.
Thank you so very much. Appreciate it a lot.